Believe it or not, right now, as you're just sitting there, a silent microscopic war is being fought inside your body. It's wild, right? There's this huge, highly trained army on patrol defending you from invisible invaders. So today, we're going to meet the soldiers of that army, your absolutely incredible immune system.
I mean, we've all been there. You get that little tickle in your throat, you feel totally wiped out, and next thing you know, you're stuck in bed with a fever. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in there? What's the actual battle plan? Well, let's find out.
Turns out that whole fight is being handled by a microscopic army that is on duty 24/7. And you can actually see some of the key players right here. These little cells are the unsung heroes of your health, and honestly, it's about time we got properly introduced. Okay, so where do we even start? Well, with any army, the first thing you have to do is meet the soldiers on the ground, right? These are the cells that are constantly patrolling your body, just looking for any sign of trouble. Now, the official name for these soldiers is white blood cells, or, if you want to get fancy, leukocytes. And the most important thing to get here is that they are the mobile units. They aren't stuck in one place. Nope, they travel all through your blood and tissues, acting like your own personal internal security force. But this army isn't just a big mob of identical cells. Oh no. Like any good army, it has specialized units. And we have to start with the most common ones, the absolute frontline infantry of your immune system. Let's meet the neutrophils. These guys are the absolute workhorses of the system. I love their nickname, microphages, which literally means small eaters. And that tells you exactly what their job is, to find invaders and, well, eat them. And check this out, this really puts it all in perspective. When you look at your entire white blood cell population, neutrophils make up a whopping 60% of the whole army. That's not just a majority, they are, by far, your most abundant defenders. So what are they laser focused on? Their mission is pretty simple and, frankly, brutal. Seek and destroy invading bacteria. The second a bacterial infection tries to set up shop, these are the cells that just swarm the area to fight back. And here's a fact that's kind of gross, but also totally fascinating. So after a neutrophil does its job and gobbles up some enemy bacteria, it basically dies in the line of duty. That collection of all those heroic, dead neutrophils, well, that's what makes up most of what we call pus. So believe it or not, the next time you see it, you're looking at the aftermath of a successful battle. You can thank those little soldiers for their sacrifice. Okay, so we've met the frontline soldiers, but here is where things get really interesting. See, this army doesn't just charge into battle randomly. It has this brilliant two-part strategy. It uses two completely different branches of immunity. And understanding this division, well, it's the key to understanding everything. And this slide lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got your innate immunity. Think of this as your body's general security, the bouncers at the door. You're born with it. It's super fast, reacting in hours, but it's not picky. It attacks any invader it sees. Then on the other side, you have your adaptive immunity. This is the elite special forces unit you develop over your lifetime. It's slower to get going, taking days, but it's incredibly precise. And here it is, the absolute game changer. It has a memory. So let's dive into that first branch for a sec. The innate system is kind of like the basic security for a fortress. It's always on, it's ready to stop anything that tries to get past the gates, and it doesn't need to know the specific identity of the bad guy. And this first line of defense includes things you might not even realize are part of your immune system. I mean, your skin is literally a physical wall. The acid in your stomach, that's a deadly chemical barrier. And of course, it includes those frontline soldiers we just met, the neutrophils, who are programmed to attack any foreigner on sight. But what happens if an invader is sneaky enough to get past all those initial defenses? Well, that's when your body calls in the special forces, the adaptive immune system. This is the intelligent learning branch of your army. Now, to understand how this elite system works, you just need to know one key term, antigen. An antigen is basically a unique marker on the surface of an invader. Think of it like the enemy's flag or its specific uniform. It's the fingerprint that lets your adaptive system identify exactly who it's fighting. And this whole process is just incredible. The first time a new virus gets in your body, you get sick. And why? Because your adaptive system has never seen that specific antigen before. But while you're feeling awful, it is hard at work. It's studying that antigen. Then it starts building custom-made weapons, like antibodies, designed for that one specific invader. And here's the magic part. It creates memory cells that remember the enemy's blueprint forever. So what happens? Well, if you get exposed a second time, your army is already armed and waiting. It recognizes the bad guy instantly and destroys it, sometimes before you even feel a sniffle. And that right there, that whole concept of memory, that's the big aha moment. It is the exact principle that makes vaccines one of the greatest inventions in the history of medicine. A vaccine just introduces a safe or weakened piece of an invader to your body, so your adaptive system can go through that whole learning process and build up its memory, all without you having to get sick for real the first time. It's basically like giving your army the enemy's battle plans in advance. So this system of recognizing enemies is unbelievably precise. But what happens when it breaks down? What happens when the army's targeting system goes totally haywire?
And this is such a critical question, because for all its power, the immune system's most important job might just be knowing what not to attack. In other words, your own body. So what happens when it gets that wrong?
Well, this is what leads to something called an autoimmune disease. And it's really just a tragic case of friendly fire. The system loses its ability to tell the difference between self and non-self, and this powerful microscopic army of yours starts attacking your own healthy cells as if they were the enemy.
And this quote just sums the whole thing up so perfectly. The real genius of the immune system isn't just its ability to recognize, attack, and remember pathogens. It's being able to do all of that while maintaining self-tolerance, that crucial ability not to harm itself. It is such a powerful and delicate balancing act. So, we've met the soldiers, we've learned their brilliant two-part strategy, and we've seen what happens when things go wrong. This incredible army is fighting for you, nonstop, every second of every day. So the question I'll leave you with is, how can you help it win? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.